I'm a firm believer that God will present certain messages to you when the time is right. And one of those messages is the one that I'm about to give to you in today's video. So you want to make sure you watch it fully to the end so you can see exactly what this message is, okay? The very first thing is that you can't be who you currently are and who you want to be at the same time, right? One of the biggest contradictions is that if you keep doing the same day-to-day habits, you're going to magically change your life. Or just because you get on YouTube and you watch a bunch of videos and you do all this stuff and you get motivated, things in life is going to change. That's not how this actually works. You see, if you look at any big religious book, and I'm not going to get crazy religious inside of this video, right? But if you look at any main religious books, it always comes down to discipline of the individual, right? And one of the most important things that I've learned over the last 6 years of just building my own wealth and you know, increasing the wealth within my last name is that you have to be willing to start making these sacrifices, right? Like we're getting ready to go into 2025, or whenever you're watching this video, we're probably already in 2025 or whatever year it is, right? And you're really asking yourself like, man, how do I get to the next level? And you find yourself praying to God and asking for help. And, you know, you're doing all of these things, but the actions that are required aren't being followed by, you know, or the thoughts that you have aren't being followed by the actions, right? And one of the most important things that I can't stress enough to you guys in this message is that God wants you to become who you want to become, but you can't keep doing the same things, right? Like if you look at the sum of the things that you've done over the last, let's say 90 days, that is the biggest reason you're in the current position that you're in, whether you're in a bad financial position or in a good financial position or a bad mental space or spiritual space. It is 100% your fault. And the moment you say, all right, I'm going to go into this year, I'm going to go into this week, I'm going to go into this month, just blaming myself, the easier it's going to be for you to become the person that you want to become. Because at the end of the day, the person that you were, the one that's kicking it all the time, the one that's partying with friends who know there's no real connection, there's just kicking it, right? The one that's drinking and smoking and trying to get away from real life, that individual has to die in order for the one that you really want to become to live. And that's the scary part about life, is that people don't realize this until it's too late, right? And regardless of what age you are, you can be in your early 20s, late 50s, you know, early 60s, does not matter. The biggest thing is that regardless of age, you can transform yourself into exactly who you want to become, okay? But the biggest thing is, again, you can't keep doing the same things that you were doing, right? Like you got to start changing up your day-to-day habits. If you wake up and the first thing you do is check social media, then 9 times out of 10, the cell phone is probably a big issue for you. So why not put that on pause? Why not start thinking about these things, right? And one of the most important things that I've learned, you know, in just whatever you believe in, whether it's higher being or God or any of these things, is that you can pray, you can affirm, you can do all these things, you can do all of it, right? But it still relies on you to actually take the steps necessary to improve your own life. It's nobody else's fault. No one else is coming to save you. And at the end of the day, the real life that you want is on the other side of risk. It's on the other side of, you know, making sacrifices in the now so you can live how you want. And some of the books that I kind of read, you know, kind of talks about a lot of these things, which is like delaying the gratification, delaying, you know I want to be here and I want to buy these things, or I want to, you know, do these flashy things or travel to here, but I know I could be in a better financial position if I were to just, you know, delay it. Now that I've, you know, been able to build my wealth up and I've been able to, you know, do a lot of successful things, I'm starting to realize one of the craziest keys that I'm realizing in life is that the journey is the real thing you should be focused on. Like everyone wants the end result. And I'm here to tell you, once you get the car that you want, once you start getting the type of money that you want, you get the jewelry, you get all of these things, creates a sense of void within you, because now you're getting disconnected from the things that really matter, which is you building yourself, you becoming a better version of yourself, you becoming someone that your family can look up to, right? And it's crazy because a lot of times people will, you know, say, oh, he's crazy, or, you know, that's not true. And I'm telling you this from life experiences. Like I felt like in 2023, 2024, I was always on a money grind. I'm always hustling. And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, but what I am saying is that it's important for you to realize that there are other important things that are going on around you, right? Like you being able to wake up in the morning, you being able to chase your dreams, or you being able to just, you know, do the normal things, go in your refrigerator, have a roof over your head, have a cell phone, right? These are things that a lot of people in the world don't get a chance to get. The huge message in this video is to be grateful for what you have, but never act like you deserve anything. And you can't expect for everything to fall into your lap the way you want it to. Just because you ask God for it, or just because you wake up and watch a couple videos or you read a few books, that everything should just play out in your favor because you want it to. The interesting thing about life is that the fun part about it is that everything doesn't happen the way you want it to, and that's the purpose of it, right? Being able to be okay with the way things are happening in your life, and being the person that says, you know what, it is my fault, and if I want to become the better version of myself, it requires me doing X, Y, and Z, or 1, 2, and 3. I'm here to tell you that you are absolutely capable of turning your life around. It does not matter if you just got out of jail. It doesn't matter if you had a kid young or if you just had a kid. It doesn't matter if you lost someone that you're really close to or that you really loved. You can change your life, but it starts with changing things up here. It starts with changing your perception of the world. When you start understanding how the government works and how money works and how banks work, or just how spirituality works and how the world works, you start realizing that there's so many other things that I could be focused on as opposed to kicking it, being on my phone or comparing myself to all these people that I see on social media who just live in this lifestyle, right? You start realizing like, man, like if I could just disconnect from that and I can just be true to myself, I can be pure to who I am. That is one of the most conscious ways to live life, is just to be true to who you are and what you want in your life. And I think that a lot of people who may be watching this video, you might have a problem comparing yourself to what other people have, or comparing yourself to just other people in general. And I'm here to tell you that your time is coming. So a couple of the things that you can start doing going into a new year or a new week or a new month or a year or a time period where you want to focus on you is, number one, start being more selfish, right? Like, what you want matters. My mom told me this a long time ago when I was a kid. She said, everyone always is focused on saving everybody else, right? But the problem is when you look at, you being in a boat and all of the people that you love being in this boat, right? And let's just say everyone fell overboard, right? But there's holes in your boat. Are you going to jump out of your boat and let it sink just so you can save everybody else? Or are you going to start prioritizing yourself and what you want for yourself first, pat your own boat up, and then go save everyone? So the very first thing I want to tell you is start being more selfish. Like, how can you get to the level that you want to get to if everyone else comes first before you? You matter more than everyone. If you're the main breadwinner in your family, or you're the person who takes care of everything in your family, you have to start choosing yourself over everyone else, or you won't last. The second biggest thing is start having an actual plan, right? Like, if you're going into a new year and you're telling yourself, I'm about to be a new year, it's about to be a new year, it's going to be a new me, or I'm going to start doing all these different things, stand on it, right? Like, one of the craziest things that I see is that oftentimes we lie to ourselves so much that even when we start telling ourselves something and we really mean it, our own self don't even believe us. And that's the scary part, is that you can go about life saying that you're going to do X, Y, and Z, and you're subconsciously, this little, voice in your mind is telling you that you're going to do it and you can do this and all these things. And then in reality, when the time comes to do it, you get lazy, you procrastinate, you choose to do other things that aren't benefiting you. You choose to be around other people who are not benefiting you. So at the end of the day, choose yourself so that way you can actually, reap the rewards of your own fruits of your labor. Be patient with how things are going to come, right? Like, everything isn't going to be a win, right? Like, you got to take L's to even know what it feels like to be on top, or to know what a win feels like. Like, if you're constantly winning and you never know what losing feels like, then how can you ever really know the significance of winning, right? And that's a part of life. You have to fall. It's like riding a bike. It's like learning how to walk. You're meant to fall and realize what it feels like to be hurt and all of these different things, so that way you can appreciate when you start doing things the right way. So be patient with yourself. The next thing is change your friend group up. These people don't match who you're trying to become, and you know this. Like, you can't keep lying to yourself no more. The people, just because you grew up with them, or y'all are close, or this is your best friend, or y'all have done X, Y, and Z, or y'all have experienced these things in life, doesn't mean that they're going to be the person that you're going to, want to be around when you become who you really want to become, right? And there's an analogy where if you look at a rocket ship, there's a reason that certain parts of the rocket ship, once it breaks through atmosphere and once it gets through certain heights, certain parts start falling off. And it's because in order for it to continue going up, you have to start learning how to let other things go. And if you're that person right now where you're hanging on to a friendship or a relationship with an individual and you know it's not benefiting you, The biggest thing that you can do is start choosing yourself and cutting that off, so that way you can go out and be the person you want to become. And I know some people might comment under this video and say, well, Tez, that's, that's messed up, because what about, our relationship and all these years and all these things? But it's like, what about you? Are you willing to sacrifice who you could become just so you can keep other people happy? Are you really willing to do that? And that's a question you really have to ask yourself, because your habits and what you do is going to determine the answer to that question. So start cutting off the friends who aren't doing the things that you want to do. I know, I get it. It might be hard to find new friends. It's lonely sometimes on this journey. It's meant to be lonely. A lot of stuff in life isn't supposed to be, as fun as people make it seem. Nah, some of this shit is lonely. Sometimes it's boring. You wake up and you read and you do all the work that you're supposed to be doing, and you feel in gratitude, but then again, there's no one really there to really see or to talk to, and that's perfectly fine, because the destination that you're taking, the route that you're taking, is meant for you, and there's no traffic in your lane. So learn how to stick to your lane and what you want for yourself, as opposed to being the person who gets manipulated easily and gets distracted easily and easily gets pushed off of, the route that's best for them. Because what's meant for you is meant for you. No one else can change that, right? The other big thing is realize that your last name holds weight, right? Like, it doesn't matter how you look or what environment you grew up in. If, you grew up in the hood or in a village or in the suburbs, it does not matter, right? Your last name holds weight, and how you carry yourself, based off how you dress, how you talk, who you hang around, how you carry yourself means a lot to the people around you who hold the same last name as you. But here's the thing that I've learned. No one will realize that your last name holds weight until you make them realize it. No one will realize that your last name holds weight until you make them realize it. And that is on you. That is not on no one else. It's not on your mom. It's not on your dad. You can't blame nobody else but you. And yeah, there was other people who came before you, but you're the one who's watching this video, listening to this message, and really looking to change your life. So it's upon you, and it's your task to fulfill, to make sure that you become the individual that you want to become. The next biggest thing is, if you're going into a new year, and you're doing all these different things, right? And you're trying to change, your financial spot and where you want to be in life, right? One of the biggest things that I can tell you is really have and learn, if you don't have it, learn financial sense. Like, I feel like common sense isn't as common in today's age, where you have computers, you have AI, you have cell phones distracting people from the things that matter, but also distracting people from learning the things that are just common sense, right? And that's why I said it's not as common as people make it seem. Learn money principles. If you know that you have X amount of money, and you make a certain amount of money every month, what do you truly take home? What can you truly put up as an investment to reap the benefits later, right? And this is why one of my biggest philosophies throughout my life and throughout my last 6 years of just entrepreneurship is that I'm always thinking 5 years ahead, right? Because what you want right now, yes, it matters, and it's great to live life now, because you never know if you live till tomorrow and all these things. That's all fine. I'm not saying that you shouldn't live life and kick it or any of those things. I'm not that person to tell you that. I am the person to tell you, though, that you want to keep in mind the individual that you're about to become 5 years from now. And then in the financial decisions that you make right now drastically changes what that individual will think of you, when you get to that point. And what I mean by this is, I try to tell people, like, my whole purpose for myself is to continuously set myself up 5 years from now, so that way when I look back 5 years, I can say, wow, you really did your thing. I'm really happy that you made those decisions. And that's the interesting thing about God, is like, or just a higher being. He will show you things when it's time for you to see it. Don't be so caught up in everything and all the distractions that come in this life that you just steer away from what's best for you, man. Or sis. Like, it doesn't matter who's watching this video, regardless of age or what you look like or your color or your skin. This message is like money. You know what I mean? Everyone loves money. Money doesn't care what you look like, as long as you know the principles to making it. And at the end of the day, like, this is the same exact philosophy. There's things in life that you may not understand at this moment. There's things in life that you're going through at this moment that you wish you weren't going through. But I promise you, it's building the character. It's building the individual that you always wanted to become. Trust in his path. Trust in your own decision making. Trust in what you want for yourself. No one else is coming to save you. So it's on you to take all of the stuff that's around you and use it to your advantage. Use it as fuel. If someone pissed you off, someone disrespected you, someone said you wasn't gonna make it, all these different things, all the stuff that people said about you, take it to heart and really use it as fuel. Use it to get to that next level. Use it to become who you always wanted to become, because at the end of the day, yes, you may feel like you deserve to be in a certain spot in life, but until you go out and go get it, you don't deserve shit. The message in this video is to become the most purest and true version of yourself. Period. I don't think God will ever be mad at the sins or the things that you have done in life if your whole purpose and your whole focus is just to become the best version of you. I truly don't think he'll be mad at that. So if you're watching this video, watch it again, because maybe I said something that resonated with you. And if it did, let me know down below in the comments. This is my first time, really having a conversation like this. And to be completely honest with you guys, as much as I feel like it's for you guys, a lot of it is for me, to remind myself and to be able to look back at this video, a few years from now, to really realize who I've become and who I always knew I could become. So with that being said, take this message, everything that's inside of here, and apply it to your own life. If you really want the things that you always wanted, be willing to make the sacrifices that come with it, because there's always going to be sacrifices that need to be made. You can, look, doesn't matter what you look like, doesn't matter where you grew up, doesn't matter how much money you have right now, you can change your own situation. Period. No ifs, ands, or buts, no you need motivation, none of that. It's going to be hard. It's just going to be annoying too. But that's a part of the journey. So look forward to it. Embrace it. Stay true to yourself. Stay pure. So yeah, if you guys like this video, leave a subscribe, leave a like. There's no crazy edits in this video. No crazy thumbnails, none of that stuff. This is just real, straight, uncut information, game, messages from your boy Tez. Enjoy the rest of y'all day. Peace.